August 13th at 10 a.m. We're here to do the policy meeting. With that said, we can get started here as soon as my computer opens up. Why is my computer still? Oh, there it comes. Okay. The first one on board is policy. B, policy 827, conflict of interest. I would like to hold that till the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Because we're gonna need to do an executive session on that real quick.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna ask that we can, but I'd like to move that to the back of the meeting.
Okay.
So
that's last.
Yeah,
Got it.
is that all right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. First one,
Sorry, I'm just thinking through executive session for committees, and I think that's kind of a gray area.
yeah,
There's
but
something that needs to be discussed in private that is not part of a committee meeting, then probably you as the chair, and you can certainly Tim, if you want, should have a non-meeting related conversation about it. And we can do that in my office. Has nothing to do with the meeting.
okay, because I was always brought up, if you're in a public meeting and you have to discuss something, go to executive.
Committees can go into executive.
Yeah,
Okay, again. I
that
think
way
it's-
at least we're doing it legal and upfront.
Oh, okay. It's what I'm proposing isn't illegal. It's just
Right.
Sure.
that isn't kind of a gray area about committees and executive session.
All right, well, we're gonna it's gray, but we'll just do it
As you like,
like
you're the chair.
normal. That way nobody can come back. First one under C, discussion, concussion management. We've dealt with this forever now.
Well, we tabled it, sorry for interrupting, we
Right.
tabled it and never really came back to it. And so as Christine was reviewing all the stuff that we've kind of tabled, not got back to, I
Right.
thought, oh yeah, we need to look at this one. So remember, we had Chelsea come and look at it and
Right.
and provide some feedback on it, and I think it was all ready to go. I think we're gonna check with Bill, and I think that's where we didn't circle back around.
Yes,
Mary?
yeah,
I'm pretty sure, I remember Bill being a doctor, Dr. Baldino. I remember that conversation, and he was very adamant that, a certain certified person be there. But the rest of the board voted to pass it, and he put up his reasons.
yeah.
So we did pass this back last year.
That's what I thought we did too.
Okay, so we'll go back and check minutes and stuff like that, and if we don't need to bring, I mean, why don't we do this, not really deal with this at the moment, we'll go back and look at the records, and then if we
Yeah.
need to bring it up, then we'll
I
just.
could be
note this.
wrong.
Yeah.
I remember Dr. Baldino was very
Because I remember
adamant.
Dr. Baldino wanted a certified
Well, but it could be a
brain
different policy.
specialist
A
there for
neuropsych.
concussion, and
Yep.
we decided that you can't just call one of them and say, hey, I need you here.
Right,
And that's why we were doing the protocol we were doing.
yep,
It might be applied. I'm assuming it's this policy, but I could be wrong. Okay, so
yep, we'll.
Either that way-
I would say, I think we voted on this.
Mhm.
If not, then let's put it to the vote,
Okay,
okay?
Sounds good.
Because,
To first read, so we can get it done.
Yep.
Because you can't just call, even I talked to my brother about it.
Yeah.
And he said, you can't just call a concussion specialist and say, hey, we need you at the game right now.
Correct.
Or the day after, you
Right.
can't do it.
Yeah, it's a 6-month wait.
Right,
And the AR that's number 2 is kind of goes right along with it.
okay,
and then I just had one other thing.
yeah,
The only thing that changed is, I don't remember this part, the very last sentence on page 1. Disciplinary procedures outlined in administrative regulations. So I don't know if that was part, I don't remember that being part of the first one that we talked about. So if you wouldn't mind just making sure that was a change that happened recently.
Yes, so
Thank you.
what I recall is that the discussion that we had was that there shouldn't be a three strikes kind of.
Right.
That's
policy
what
for
I'm
this
thinking
program, right?
too.
So that's why we
Okay.
took out the step one is this thing, step two
Yeah.
is this thing. We said.
We
you
said
only can
one
follow-
and done
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's what, okay, I just want to make sure I remember. Thank you.
No, that's correct.
Okay,
Move policy 123.1 to first read.
We need to check to see if it has been voted on prior to in policy committee, or even maybe it already went to the board and we're just not remembering it correctly. We'll look back at the record.
I think it did finally,
mhm,
So we'll just
because
verify.
we had decided we need it.
Yep.
And it had to get put into play.
mhm.
And we were taking out those first strike, second strike, third strike stuff.
Mm-hmm, simplify.
So Christine, if we didn't already vote on it, I would say move that to first read so
I
we can
agree.
get it done, okay?
Yeah,
You good?
yeah, absolutely. Let's,
All right. Number 3, policy 200 enrollment of students.
oh, the AR. We never talked about the AR.
It just goes along with it. So I don't know. there's-
Okay, well, I just found it, not that it's important, but may I? There's just something.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but if you just wanted to look consistent, on page 3 of 7, there's a double space between the numbers 5 and 6. No big deal.
where are you seeing this at?
On the AR, page 3 of 7,
Uh-huh. Where on that
There's-
page?
between item number 5 and
She
item
has
number
it.
6, it's a
Oh,
double space.
Okay, right.
I only have one page for this.
The
Yeah, no,
AR,
I see what you're saying. It's just a formatting.
It's on the
Yeah, yeah.
AR, not the policy.
yeah,
It's just the way it's formatted. There was just an extra
Yeah.
carriage return there
Christine
between
just marked it.
5 and 6.
Mhm.
That's easy.
yeah, otherwise it's really well done, whoever wrote it, very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
One question I have on this was on the agenda last week. Well, it's in the student handbook that's on the agenda
Okay.
in the work session.
Mhm.
How does this match with that? And
Double check. I'll have to look at that.
yeah, cause it's on the agenda to vote on already, so
So
I was
make sure they're
curious
lined up.
why we were hitting it here.
Because
Excuse
it was something that was sitting out there in drafts that we needed to, we're just trying to clean all of that up.
Okay,
Mhm.
the active military duty families, I was all good with what that had to say.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're honestly not sure why we didn't pass it, because I remember having a conversation about it.
Roger was very,
And it's part of the state law that changed about
Right.
military families, and so I think it's just, maybe we forgot to take the last step and get it approved, so we just like to, I think we've already had a discussion in policy, it just needs to go to the board, we want to check with you first.
okay, can I just
The-
have one comment?
let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you got.
Under the number 1, students experiencing educational instability.
Excuse me.
It says there that we accept a child whether they're able to produce the required documents.
It's the law.
In the student handbook, we're still eliminating that section about required documents and all that.
Well, remember, it was because we're saying that the documents, what documents required, all that sort of thing sits in policy and not in, and it's in our ARs and not in the handbook itself.
Okay. Cause I know it, if I remember right, in the handbook, it's getting all crossed out.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's mainly only because the people the handbooks are geared to are already enrolled students.
Yeah.
They don't
Okay.
really need to know anything about the enrollment process because they're already sitting as an enrolled student in the district.
Okay,
So the handbook should be geared towards just the things they need to know as a student.
all right. Then I'm okay with that. You had a question.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure I am absolutely okay with this. Because in the very last page, delegation of responsibility, the legislation for number 4 says the board shall annually notify students in the legislation. Now, our policy says the superintendent or designee, so I am totally okay with that. But I just want to make you aware of that, I'm sure we're allowed to change that.
It often says in the law, the board shall, and
Yeah.
what it means is you will direct me to.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because
And
I'm
that's
fine
a
with it.
commonly understood thing is.
Okay, just want to make sure, thank you.
All right, let's move on to policy number 4, policy 217, graduation. We're good to send the enrollment one on to first read. But let me ask you this. If we're sending that to first read, how does that affect the student handbook or doesn't it?
We can make mention of that. It shouldn't really change the student handbook because there's nothing in that policy on enrollment that changes what we had in the.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
On graduation. I see that they put a marked X there
Mhm.
about being denied participation in graduation when, personal conduct. I'm okay with that. Yeah, go ahead,
It
Elizabeth.
links to policy 233, I think. So as long as 233 states, I think it's policy 233, yeah. Number link 11 is policy 233. As long as the language is the same, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't check because I'm assuming it is, which I hate that word assuming. So as long as the policy 233 says that exact same or similar language, we're good. Should we check that right now, or do you want to?
I think we're all right with it. I saw that, we made it eligible now. I take it that's the federal thing about awarding,
I think it's a state thing, yeah.
diplomas to World War II, Korean War and all those folks.
Yeah, I think so the policy 233 is about suspensions and expulsions, so there's not gonna be a direct crossover for language there, it's just saying. We
Coordinates
can
with-
suspend, so part of the suspension or expulsion could include a graduation ceremony.
Right. Elizabeth,
I know this is ridiculous, but it sounds ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous to me, so I just feel like I have to say this. On page 2, where you were talking about the X for the superintendent shall submit to the board for its approval, the names of veterans of World War II, Korean, and Vietnam. Well, I appreciate that, but I just would, is there any way to word that so we're not just segregating out those particular wars? I mean, there have been so many other ones that we've had. Unless the law won't allow us to, but is there any way to word that just for any military service?
I don't think awarding a high school diploma for any military service makes sense.
Oh, I mean, but it's just, they've just targeted World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. But there have been wars since that time.
yeah, because we had.
So is there any
Kuwait
way to
and-
keep this more timeless? Is something to think about, so. There are other wars that have occurred since the Vietnam War.
Yes, so I think the intent of this was to
Can we just say veterans of such as, but not limited to, World War II, the Korean War and
we could just
Vietnam?
say veterans of foreign wars and just call it.
Yeah,
That would be lovely.
because that
Yeah.
covers Kuwait and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else.
But the law does reflect only those three laws.
So
Really?
the board can,
I'm just saying.
the board can give a graduation diploma to anybody they want to, right? It's a local decision.
Right.
So we can say veterans of foreign wars and that's fine. And
Okay,
I think that kind of keeps with the
Mhm.
intent, the overall intent of what they were driving towards. Although it's something that happened in federal legislation that echoed down to
Right.
state legislation about these wars in particular.
all right. Christine, I don't have a page on that. So will you just make that correction and,
Yeah, you just want them crossed off and put veterans of
Foreign wars.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, veterans of foreign wars.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
yeah.
And they have, when they come to you about that, they have to show that they were in the service and everything, correct?
So the VFW verifies through
Right.
DD 214s that they participated,
Yeah.
so that's one of the filters that I would use. Honestly,
Okay.
in my 10+ years of doing this, I've never seen one of these.
Yeah, maybe.
But if there is.
There's
we
a
have policy,
possibility.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's change that wording and move that to first read, okay,
Thank you, I
Christine?
appreciate that.
Alright. Next one, professional development, number 5, policy 333.
So Elizabeth, I think you had the plan, or maybe both of you had the question about what is our professional learning plan, and so it is attached
Mhm,
here. It was
thank
also
you.
emailed out earlier.
Yeah, that was
So
very
it's part
helpful.
of our comprehensive plan, something that we submit to the state every 3rd year as part of the comprehensive plan.
Okay,
I need to reiterate too, like, if you think about, like, we talk about Title II funds all the time that we get like from the federal government, right?
right,
And you'll see like conferences and trainings and workshops and everything. So the federal government gives money specifically for professional learning. So when you see people went to these things to get more skill sets, it's paid for with the money from the federal government that they just allocated and released to us. So that's what helps us fulfill the professional learning plans as well.
right. Right, cause that, like, them college degrees and all that get paid for by,
That's something different.
That's the,
So,
yeah.
right, so paying for people's credits, that sits in general fund. It's part of our collective bargaining agreement that with
Right.
our members, that if they go to school, then we'll reimburse them for the costs of tuition.
okay,
This is more like if there's like a best practices and instruction, like if there's a new like universal design for learning, or there's, we have a new CKLA curriculum and they need to go learn about skill sets of how to deliver that. Like those
Okay.
are the things that they pay for,
all
like-
right.
you know, so.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna say, go ahead.
Thank you. This is the conflict that we're having, and we need some help to figure this out, please. Now, required certifications and this policy, though, seems to go beyond that.
Yes,
So to clarify that when regular certifications need to be taken place to maintain X, Y, and Z funding, et cetera, accreditation, that is somehow segregated out from individuals who want to take graduate courses or master's degrees that do have nothing to do with their certifications. So this is where I'm going with this, please.
okay,
There's a history where the board, if someone wanted to take a class, let's say a biology teacher, excuse me, wanted to take a master's degree in a related field that related directly to the individual's current position, the board, we would get a list, and the board, I don't remember us never approving. And then that was changed where the superintendent, prior to you, the superintendent had that ability and the board was taken out of the conversation. Now, since that time, there have been, and I'm not, this is before you, Dr. Redmond, okay? So
Okay.
let's just, I'm pretty sure most of it is. Doesn't matter, but at this point, the focus is the issue. We've had some staff members who have been approved to take classes that do not directly relate to the betterment of their teaching or administrative skills in their current job description. And the school district is paying for that. Now, I totally support when a teacher or a professional wants to take from the University of Pennsylvania or wherever to take a class for their current position, so they become a much greater asset to the kids or to the program here at the school. Now, I have a large disagreement, and I need your help, how we can put language in there. So moving forward, anyone who wants to better themselves professionally, let's say you have a teacher that wants to become a superintendent. School district does not pay for that. That's a professional, personal choice. Now, if a teacher wants to get a master's degree in better teaching of X, Y, and Z, I fully support that. So how can we put language in there to make sure that moving forward, no one outside of their current position can take any classes for their own personal career development?
I think those are pretty hard to tease apart. So it may be that a teacher is taking courses that they can apply towards a degree or a certification to be a principal.
Mhm.
The courses that that teacher is taking will also make them a better instructor in their classroom, whether or not they receive their principal certification or they pursue a degree or a career in administration. What they're learning in those classes will make them a better instructor.
Okay.
So teasing those things apart, I think is super difficult to do. Our job as we're looking, this is both Randy, myself and Megan, as we're looking through, and the principals, as we're looking through these requests for reimbursement is, do we feel that them taking that course is going to help them become a better instructor? Whether or not it has a downstream impact on their career is not part of our consideration. Is it going to help them become a better instructor, and does it fit within our overall comprehensive plan and our professional learning plan?
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. Are you done?
Oh, right, yes, I want to hear all the thoughts so we can get
Okay.
fine tune this.
Is there written language that when somebody does take a course,
Mhm.
college course to better themselves, and I am never against somebody who wants to better themselves. I would fight that to the T. But is there language that says you have to be here for X amount of years if we pay for that? Is there language that says, hey, we're paying for this, you have to use part of it here?
So we have language that I know says, if you leave within 2 years, you have to pay back whatever the district has paid out. And if it's between 1 and 2 years that you leave, then you have to pay out 50%. If it's within 1 year, you have to pay back the full thing. And we have been collecting that back from members if they've left. But in terms of how long you have to be here before you start getting reimbursement, I don't think I agree with that.
Well,
For
I
instance,
don't mean it like that. What I mean is somebody can't come here and say, be here 1 year,
Mhm.
or 2 years and get college courses and stuff paid for and then quit.
Well, if they do, they have to pay it back. And that's written into the contract already.
Okay, that's what I'm curious about, because we've had that happen.
And we've been. getting
And
money back.
that was not your involvement.
Yeah, so we get, it's already written into the contract for teachers, administrators, everyone who gets paid out. If they leave within 2 years of getting reimbursement by the district, they either have to pay 50% for if it's 1 to 2 years old, or 100% if it's less than one year.
Okay.
And that's something that you should think about, like negotiating when that time comes, because like I know 2 years to me is not long enough. And I ended up, when I left Williamsport, I was within a 5-year window after getting my doctorate and had to repay
That's-
that. So 2 years doesn't give you, like, the whole purpose of you wanting to educate people for them to grow professionally is to help them grow within your organization.
Bingo.
Right,
And so I think that when that time comes, you look at potentially saying 2 years isn't enough. We want to make it 5, because that gives them potentially, I mean, they work at least those 5 years, and if not, then
Well, that's-
you can leave, but you got to pay us back.
that's
because
what
we-
I'm talking about, what happened with the tax office.
Yeah.
We had somebody here, and it almost leaves the picture, and it's been asked of me, to be honest with you. Did somebody be here long enough just to keep their job and all of a sudden say, hey, we don't need it anymore, let's get rid of it, and they moved on?
Hmm.
Cause in the public eye, that's what it looked like happened.
Okay,
And once again, you weren't here when that deal was cut.
Yeah,
so then, I mean,
That's right.
ultimately, as Randy is saying, where to change that timeline is in the collective bargaining, because that's where
Mhm.
that whole system sits, is in the collective bargaining agreement. It doesn't sit in policy.
Okay, but should there be something in policy that says this is what the collective bargaining is to do, or can't you do
Policy
do
that?
that.
can't force.
We can't,
collective
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Okay.
can't do that.
Yeah. No,
And if you go onto these pages, and I'm curious about something. On the first page of this Professional Development Plan Act 48,
Mhm.
it says from 23 to 26.
Yes, that's the span of our comprehensive plan.
Okay,
oh, I see what you're, oh, I'm sorry.
so
Now-
next year, that's gonna come up
Yes,
on the comprehensive plan.
yep, actually, second half of this year, we're
Start
gonna be
focusing on-
rewriting our comprehensive plan, and part of that will be the professional development plan.
Okay, cause I'm looking in here and I see if you go to the next page, it says like anticipated timeline for some of this stuff is 6/1 of 23 to 12/31/24. And there's quite a few of them. And then on the end of this, it has Dr. Martin's stuff on there.
That's,
Yeah,
That
that's
should
because
all
when
be
it was-
removed.
Well, that's when the comprehensive plan was written.
yep.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
she's the author of all that stuff, and no matter what happens with superintendents or whatever, the author of the comprehensive plan is the
Stays.
author of the comprehensive.
Right.
plan.
Yeah.
So we'll be working on the comprehensive plan.
Next year,
This coming school
This,
year.
yeah.
Now,
this
who,
spring.
who all sits on that and does
we,
it?
we decide.
Okay,
Well, there's I'll
Just quick
I'll
committee.
start working on a committee. If you look at our comprehensive plan, the first page of it has a list of all the people that are on there. There's board members, there's administrators, there's teachers, there's parents, there's students. All of
Okay.
it. It's a huge committee.
Yeah,
I've never really seen this because we weren't part of that.
Yeah, no, it was
So-
2022 is when that plan was
Right.
created.
Okay,
yeah, it's interesting. Okay,
just curious.
I'm sorry, I have one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last, well, I guess page one, at the bottom of page one. Now, this is confusing, need help. It says the board may approve on a case-to-case basis specific professional education activity not stated within district's professional education plan. And then the second line is, if the district assumes all costs, blah, blah, the board may disapprove any course but how can we do that if the policy has given all the power and all the oversight to the superintendent? So we can't, I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? Like you
Yes,
approve,
right.
so
So
how do we work this out?
our job is to, and we're professionals in the field of education leadership, right? We have degrees and experience in that. We are the best situated because we're living this every day to
Mhm.
decide whether or not someone's request to engage in a particular professional learning course is fits within all of the requirements.
Sure,
I think having the board get in on that muddies the issue, and I don't mean to offend or demean or anything like that, but y'all don't have the experience, the education, you're not in it every day, you don't know as much as we do about the person and where they're teaching and what they're teaching and doing all that sort of thing.
no, you're absolutely correct. That part isn't part of it. My question is, how do we clean this up? So on one hand, it's shut, the policy states the superintendent decides all these things. But then on the bottom, the legislation and the way it's written, it says the board does.
And this is
So-
another one of those instances where the board has overall responsibility of what happens, but you direct me to operationalize what's in policy.
Okay,
So just like
then,
we talked earlier, if it says the board, it means the board directs the superintendent to, and that's a common understanding across all of the legislation that deals with how schools work.
then you could also just do it, you make a recommendation to the board that this gets approved and what it is at a meeting
That
and
would
we
clear up
okay.
everything. If you just
That
bring the
would
list to the
that would
board.
clean everything up.
Yeah, here, approve this, please. I recommend it. And then because the legislation for number 3, if you click on it, it's very, very extensive. So maybe that's the best solution. Just have the superintendent bring the list to the school board, recommends that we approve these classes to take place, and we just approve it and get it over with.
Okay, you
I'm
could,
not get it
you
over with, I'm
could-
sorry, that was incorrect.
you could essentially
Grammar.
just make a spot on an agenda that says, you want such and such approval for education plan for such and such person.
Would it also work to, just kind of flips it the other direction? But if I deny something and a member says, I want to appeal to the board, then that appeal would come to you.
Right,
So that's, it's a little bit different shift, but it kind of gets to the same thing. So there are things that I deny and say, no, that's not gonna make any sense. It doesn't fit in with our comprehensive plan. It doesn't make any sense to me. They can say, but I really want to take it. I think it does make sense. I said, you have to appeal to the board.
That's a
And
good
that's-
idea.
That's what I read that line to mean, right? The board may approve on a case-by-case basis specific professional activities not stated within district's professional education plan. So I'm gonna approve stuff that's in our plan because you've already approved the plan,
No, I
Right.
understand,
right?
that's
And
not
then
the
and if it
issue.
sits outside of the plan, then it would come to the board.
Okay,
okay. That, I'm fine with that.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that, because right now it looks conflicting if someone.
But if you approve it and there's a big expense to it, obviously, do we get told about it or
Well,
no?
you see it on bills to pay and stuff like that. I mean, you've asked questions about where are we paying this stuff and we say
Right.
it's attached to reimbursement for classes or credits that the teachers have taken.
That's what all the credit reimbursements are. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah, but we don't see an annual report. We're looking.
No, you don't see it annually. You see it as they come up.
Yeah,
all right. Are we good with that?
I think for right now,
Let's take that to first read. We kind of skipped over the graduation. Number 4. We went
we talked about
over
that.
it, but the only change is basically the
Veterans of.
the veterans
Veterans.
thing,
Yep.
that's it,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
all right,
we're
wonderful.
good.
So that one can go to first read. Number 5, policy 333 to first read. And we're down to number 6, policy 701.1 naming rights. That's an
4 years.
AR, right?
No, so
Oh.
the second one, number 7 is the AR.
Okay,
Number 6 is something that had come up in February 2024.
yes,
It was tabled. It was my first month on the job.
Yep.
So
Right.
I'm not sure exactly what the process was to have it just be tabled, not passed. It was sitting in draft, so if we want to keep pushing it forward and bring it in front of the board, let's do it.
yeah. I'm good with having some naming rights and recognition. My big thing on this, my question would be, could this get us into bidding wars? And is there anywhere that says this is what it cost and how is all that determined?
That's part of the AR. Well, the
Okay.
AR is the request. The naming rights talks about. Let's see, where is that? So the stuff that's in yellow kind of
Yes.
outlines the specific process. So. I don't honestly see a bidding war happening.
No,
Well, what if you have 2 different
Mm-hmm.
people that want their name on the football field? It's,
Both names up there. I see it all the time.
okay,
well, I'll take 10 names.
Well,
If they wanna
and you
go
can,
give
you
us-
could look at like what other local areas have done. You could get information on what other people have done with it. Cause like,
Right.
you know, like being from Williamsport, like the brand new turf stadium field, everything that they put in, STA, the transportation put it in, they gave like $750,000 and their name stayed on there for 5 years, but then UPMC put the scoreboard in and then
right,
and then, so there's a lot of different ways to look at it. And so you could have whoever the committee ends up being or looks at, they could research what other places do when it comes to that, because we were starting to look at the CTC for naming rights before I left Williamsport of getting companies that want to sponsor the welding program or the automotive program. So
Mhm, that's the idea.
yeah, you can do that.
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
I see a thing on here about naming rights revocation advisory committee.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I hate to form another committee. We've got too many now.
Well,
Well,
So-
this wouldn't be a standing committee.
Yeah.
This is an ad hoc. We need to take care of this problem. Let's bring a couple of board members together and some other folks. Talk
Okay.
through this, make a
Kind of
decision,
like
move
we
on.
did with the charter school.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
All right. And
well,
the only other thing is, how would we even come up with a price?
I got,
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay, I have been waiting for this for 6 years. Okay. I have read so many of
Well,
these
don't make
policies.
this discussion 6 years long.
I won't,
all
I
right?
promise, but I'm
Yeah, 'cause
super
we gotta
excited.
hear you.
And thank you for bringing it back up so we can move forward with this. There was two main concerns that almost every district had since the Joe Paterno situation. And also the current stadium here. Number one, there's, make sure that there's a time limit. Such as you have the naming rights for whatever the committee agrees, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. It can't be forever. Because we found that that isn't sustainable, financially. So that was the big one. And the second one was to make sure that there was written language in there that if, it's named after Joe Smith commits murder, the board immediately has the
Yeah.
right to remove Joe Smith's name.
That's,
Those are the two key takeaways. And after that, it's game on. And
that
I-
sits somewhere else in policy where it talks about
Mhm.
naming of school
Yeah.
buildings,
That
that
was-
the board can
Mhm.
always change the names of any facility.
Yep, so those are the two key, and then I'm gonna bring this up at the facilities committee meeting. To request that it might go on the next month's agenda or next year. The SAM administration starts, looking at everything we own,
Right.
every building, every, whatever it is, and if you wanna put together a priority list. However it works out, but let's get this going once it's passed.
Chris, when you said like what amount do you look for? So it's based on, in my experience, it's based on specific projects. So if you have a new stadium or you want to renovate the one that you have completely with a new entrance and you have to replace the turf field, or you want to build a brand new baseball field up here, or whatever it is, that's what the ask is.
Right,
And then you can have people come in and say, I'll pay the full price for that.
or put together multiple.
Or you could have multiple ones.
Yeah.
What it isn't is a savings account. So
No.
if it's a $500,000 ask and you have 3 people that want to put $500,000 in, then the idea would be to look at alternative projects that would cost the other
Right.
$1 million,
See if they're
because you
interested.
couldn't, you
Mhm.
want, it's not to put money in your coffers, it's to take care of needs that you have.
Right. Well, I'm thinking of projects that I know are coming up.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like the tennis courts would have been a perfect, that would have been perfect. Same with the football turf, but we couldn't because that was,
Well,
there
it's
was no time
stuff-
limit placed on
Stuff
those.
like that and
Yeah.
the security system.
Yeah.
Oh, big
Somebody
time.
could put towards that, cause I know every business, everybody in this county is concerned with our security.
Yeah, their list could be,
And that could be,
it's exciting.
Yeah, but some things are a little bit harder to put names to,
Yeah.
like, we couldn't call it the first quality security system for KCSD, so
Right.
like, if they wanna donate to it, I think we can do some recognition.
Sponsorship.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that
like
sort
a
of thing, but it
absolutely.
would- So the naming rights and recognition are, you have to kind of tease those things apart depending on
Mhm.
the
Right.
specific instance.
well, that's just an instance.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
All right, so we're good to move forward with that?
Yeah.
And then the next one is just the form that goes along with it.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And
I
that can
saw
always be
that.
adapted to whatever.
So Christine, let's move that to first read, please.
I vote yes.
Okay, I knew you did.
And I just want, this form, hopefully, I know ARs are but we're starting to digitize everything, right? So people aren't handwriting stuff anymore.
We could.
Yeah,
make this
that would be
into a-
huge, because like, when we see those, I'm sorry, pardon me, just if I may take a moment. When we see, like, I love field trips, when we see those field trip forms filled out, it's like, I trust what there is on the form, but I can't read it sometimes. So there you have it. Same with this, that's.
Okay,
my
so
thing.
number 6 is gonna get moved to first read, same with number 7.
It's an AR, so we'll just put that one in place,
Yeah.
because it is, we don't have to do it.
Number 8, public access of ARs.
So the conversation has come up about how to ensure that people can find ARs. There's 3 general methods that that districts use to sort of house their ARs. You have our method right now, which is if you go to our policy section, there's a little drop-down box on the upper left-hand corner. If you click on that, then it either shows you policies or ARs. That's the way our situation is right now. Another way that you could do it is to have if you go to the policies tab on board docs, where you see the list of policies, you'd have the AR sitting right next to it. So if you had
Mhm.
228 student government, you'd have 228 AR-0 right there.
Mhm.
That's method number two, or another method. The third method that I actually see more often is that if there's an AR associated with the policy, there is a link at the bottom of the policy itself. So again, using that same 228 student government, if there's an AR associated with it, you go to the bottom of policy 228 on board
And
docs.
there's
a
AR.
hyperlink on the bottom that says, here's the AR that goes along with it. Of those three, I prefer the third method, because it will show you that there's an AR right there. And if the second method of having them listed out on this kind of sidebar area here, it gets too crowded and you can't tell what's AR and what's what for policy. And I don't wanna, I would want things to be simple and streamlined. And I think the third way to do that is more effective than what we have now, which I understand you have to know that there's that drop
No one
down
knows.
box. Or, yeah, so I think just
Yeah,
having the.
I
link on
think
the bottom.
every policy that has an AR should have that AR attached right at the bottom of that policy.
The hyperlink.
I agree with that.
That's,
Okay.
I think it's stellar. I am 1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Alright.
think that's stellar.
So that's the
So-
way we'll do that. That doesn't require any board action or anything like that because we're just taking care of, and it's just something that
Okay.
Christine and I are working on.
That gives Christine something to do,
She has so much to do.
huh?
Gives her another something to do.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yep. Do you
So-
want to just, update when your committee report or something, just so
Yeah.
people, that would be very good news.
All right, so at this time, we're gonna end the policy committee meeting and move to a quick little executive discussion on conflict of interest.
Are we gonna come back to the policy meeting?
We can.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute the audio and video. The video and audio are live again.
Okay, we had to take a short break for
Yes, please.
an executive part meeting on conflicts of interest. And dealing with a situation. So we're back. We're gonna continue the meeting on number 8, or I'm sorry. It was back to the first thing under PSBA revisions, number 1, policy 827, conflict of interest.
Excuse me.
The one question I had under honorarium,
Mhm,
Dr. Redmond,
mhm.
is this allowing or disallowing you guys to go off and take time off from school a day or two and go make speeches somewhere and getting paid for it?
So I asked for clarification from David Lindsay and I forwarded that
Yep.
along to everyone. And so
Right.
what the honorarium is, if I were to go and speak on any particular topic, I can be compensated for that,
Okay,
for that specific thing. What's disallowed is if I go there and they say, we're gonna pay you for this, and oh, by the way, we're gonna give you a trip to the Caribbean. That part is illegal.
it is legal?
Illegal.
Oh,
Anything
okay,
beyond the compensation for the specific task
okay,
is illegal.
all right,
I will say this, if I may. Sure.
yeah, go ahead, Elizabeth.
I don't like it when they don't put 8th grade grammar. And I can see how someone would read that and it's not clear. I understand what your explanation is perfect, okay, I get that. But when I read this, I can't expect, even myself included, an average person to read that to really feel confident that they know what it means.
That's the kind of the trouble with a lot of our policy language is it needs to be legally precise.
Mhm.
Right.
And making it not legally precise makes it legally ambiguous.
It muddies
sometimes,
the
and
waters.
We don't want that.
Yeah, it needs to be black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And from a legal
okay.
standpoint, I get that it's a little bit esoteric in its wording, but it's legally precise.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so any questions?
No, good.
All right, then I'm gonna call this meeting done and adjourned at 10:52.
Great.
Super
Thank you.
terrific.
All right,